One of the greatest challenges facing us who go in the outdoors is where to spend our money. There are so many options. Now, there are 2 videos in my description box below that after you're done watching this video, I would suggest that you go and you watch them. The first one is by Dave Canterbury. It's a recent video he did, and it's rather long, especially for a Dave Canterbury video, but it is a really well done explanation about the different filtration options. And he goes into depth, he explains it better than I can. Okay, so I'm going to give you the quick and dirty. The second video I'm going to show you in the description box is actually a video about the Sawyer water system, the Sawyer filter, and it's done by the founder of the company. Now, both of these companies do great things for philanthropic needs. You know, Sawyer goes all where one of Sawyer's goals all around the world is to provide fresh water, especially in third world countries, countries that really struggle with finding clean water. Grayl also is doing something along the same lines. They have a lot more focuses than the Sawyer from what I can tell, but both of them are trying to make the world a better place. So if you're trying to struggle, well, which one am I going to go with based on my conscience? Both of them, in my opinion, are really good. Okay. Now the Sawyer system is the one that I am most familiar with. It's the one that I've been using, and it's the one that is still used by so many backpackers, especially the Sawyer system that uses the bags that you can squeeze out, and you can even use a gravity feed, things like that. I opted for this water bottle with the Sawyer Mini just because it's relatively easy. It's all compact. I don't have to worry about a whole lot. You just put your water in there, and you lift up the lid, and now you have your straw. So this draws the water that you're trying to filter through that little mini, and it comes out to the top. Now, the benefits of having the Sawyer water system over the Grayl is the amount of uses. Now, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of uses for this times compared to the Grayl. And you can back flush it, so it gets rid of a lot of the particulates and everything, so it makes it last longer. Okay, so the Sawyer water filter is cheaper, longer use, and it takes care of just about everything with the exception of viruses. Okay, viruses is the one thing that the Sawyer does not 100% guarantee. And the video that I put in the description box actually explains that. The founder says that they can't say that it takes out viruses because the US government doesn't allow them to basically test it in the appropriate way, so they can't make that guarantee. However, the small particle size that's in the filter supposedly doesn't allow viruses to go through, because viruses are only a certain size and they can't go through the filter. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, so this system is fairly compact, right? You got really 1-2 pieces that you really have to worry about, and you got a pretty large volume with this water bottle. Now, the Grayl is way more expensive. I spent this is the Grayl Geopress, and it's on sale right now for this particular coloration, because I guess they do sales for colors and combos, and I don't care as long as it's useful. So they generally go for $99. This was for $89, and a couple members on the Camp Crafters Guild, which if you're not a member, you should totally check it out, because you can check it out for 5 days. It's a great community. It's a lot of knowledge and sharing of experiences and stuff. And if you find yourself lonely in the whole process of trying to figure out camping, backpacking, hiking, bushcrafting, or whatever, it's a great resource for you. But the Grayl that they found, same size, Geopress, I don't think it had the same color, but if that's no big deal, they found it for $79.99 on the REI clearance. So if you're interested, I actually have an affiliate link below in the description box that it's not going to charge you anymore, no matter when you watch this video. It just goes towards the channel. Okay, it helps us out. But if I were you, search around, see if you can get a better deal, and go for the best one. I ordered directly from Grayl, and it came packaged beautifully. Tracking was really nice. Feedback when I had a couple questions, even after I purchased it, it was really quick and easy. But you can do that even if you don't buy it from Grayl's website, just so you know. Their customer service is fantastic. All right, so This system is, you know, it's very similar to this. It's all in one. You have your knob here. Now notice how it has the red and the green. This is really important because as it is right now, it's completely closed. When you turn it, you see the little arrow and it goes to the green. That's going to be important as we come to later, but we're just going to take this apart and show you the different parts and pieces so you know exactly how it looks. Okay, so as we pull this apart, down here at the bottom, this is the filter, and it has this nice rubber gasket here, and that's what's going to keep anything from coming out. And you can take this off and you can swap it out, and we can see the one-way valve here. We can pull this out. Now this is really nice. This is new. The one-way valve is really nice if you use drink mixes. If you're going to use carbonation and things like that, the one-way valve is really important to use. And to put it back in, you just stick your finger in there and you press and it pops right back in, just like so. Okay, so there's the one-way valve. Now, this filter costs about $25 to replace, and it's good for about 64 gallons. Of course, that depends on how dirty the water is that you're trying to use, so you always want to make sure that you're using as clean water as you can, and even pre-filter if possible. You can take a piece of cloth over top of it and let it sink the water come in slowly. That way you're getting, you know, no mud and grit and dirt and things like that. Okay, so this is where you put your dirty water. And there is a fill line. This is the max fill line. So you fill it up with your dirty water. You put this in. Oh, of course you have your lid here. And you'll notice that it has rubber up here and it has rubber down there. That's really nice. So once you have it up, you literally press and the air is escaping through this cap. So you're not going to actually have any type of contaminants even with where your mouth is. And as that comes through, you will have clean water inside here. Now the volume of this is actually pretty small. I opted for this system because it is all very easy. I like being able to take large swigs. So having the mouth that's pretty decent size, I think is a little bit better than trying to suck it through a straw. I've never really had a problem getting water from this. A couple of times it's a little bit of a struggle, but it's not too bad. So I can't complain too much, but I really like the idea of just being able to drink and pour directly from this. Now this system, because of how it is, and it guarantees against viruses because it's a carbon filter, I can pour this into my children's water bottles and it's good to go. It's 64 gallons. That's pretty good. I don't have to worry about any of the heavy metals, PFAs and things like that. Now, nothing is 100% guaranteed. It's 99.99% effective, okay? So you always take a risk. The reason why, ultimately, I decided to get the Grayl versus this is because where I live here in Ohio, the water here in Ohio, our waterways are getting really bad. So you have to go onto your EPA health department and do some of your own research in your state to figure out really which one you should use. For most people, especially if you live in the western part of the United States, the Midwest, and you know, you got mountain streams and things like that, you want to double check, but viruses aren't going to be a problem in most places in the United States. However, with all the heavy mining here in Ohio and all the catastrophes that we've had recently, I opted to go for the Grayl just to be extra precautious. But both of them do a great job with clearing out heavy metals. The Sawyer does a great job cleaning out the heavy metals. This filter in here is actually smaller as far as like the tube filter than the filter here. The reason why this one can protect against viruses guaranteed is because of the carbon filter. That's the quick and dirty about it. But this one you're going to get a lot more uses out. This one you're going to get 64 gallons roughly, okay? That is why I opted for the Grayl. And I just like the idea of being able to grab water really quick, push it down, and I can move on. I don't have to worry about boiling water. I don't have to worry about waiting a half hour for any chlorine or iodine tablets or anything like that. This one is very similar, but again, I'm just trying to be extra cautious, so I went with the Grayl. All right, so when I got my Grayl in the mail, it came in a brown box like this. It has the Grayl tape, nice touch, okay. And this is the box that the Grayl actually came in. It looks pretty nice, doesn't it? Like that's pretty classy, right? Definitely feels like you're getting your money's worth when it comes to your packaging, if that's a thing for you. I don't know. And inside the box and packaging itself, it came with a sample of a drink mix, like an energy drink mix. That's pretty cool. Hydration Sport drink mix by Scratch Labs. We'll see how it is. I'll let you know next week how good it is. Also came with a little Grayl sticker. Okay. It came with the receipt or shipping label and gave a description about the one-way valve, which is pretty nice. And here it tells you all the different things that it can actually filter, including the basic description of how to use it. It's not super difficult, right? It's pretty simple. You just fill up the red, you push down, filters it, you drink it, you're good to go. Okay, so it has about 350 presses, 250 liters, 65 gallons, and about 5 liters per minute. It takes about 8 to 10 seconds to push down. And of course, if it's clogged up, it slows down. They say if it takes, somewhere around 25 seconds, you should probably get a new filter, swap it out. It's a good indication. So 25 seconds is quite a while when you think about it. This is what it removes. Viruses, 99.99%. Rotavirus, norovirus, hepatitis A. Now, you don't really have to worry about hepatitis unless you're in an area where there might be people that has hepatitis. Okay. Bacteria, 99.9999%. E. coli, salmonella, and dysentery. Protozoa, 99.9%. Giardia, cryptosporidium, and amoeba. And it filters out particulates like microplastics, sediment, and silt. And chemicals like PFAs, chlorine, and chloroform. And heavy metals like lead, arsenic, and chromium. Now, where I live here in Ohio, it's kind of a sad situation. Our waterways are just getting worse and worse and worse. We've had some catastrophes recently. The Ohio River, Lake Erie, and everything's got some issues. Sometimes we get algae blooms. You definitely don't want to use this. Where there's an algae bloom, try to find yourself a cleaner water source. And you definitely want to avoid any mud holes if at all possible, like good running water. That same thing with the Sawyer. That's really what you're looking for water. Okay, if you can see to the bottom and it's running water, then that's a decent choice to use. Okay, now, like I said, here in Ohio, our waterways are getting pretty bad. Viruses are starting to be seen here and there. Most of the United States doesn't have to worry about viruses. Now, this again, the Sawyer, because of the filter that it uses, it's so small. Supposedly, it also filters out viruses, but because this is the carbon filter, this also makes the taste of the water a little bit better. It improves the taste, which the Sawyer can't do. Okay. Now, the filter of this is $24, and again, you're only getting about 65 gallons of it. That Sawyer filter, you're talking about hundreds and thousands of uses. So it's also cheaper. So you've got to figure out geographically really what you need. For me, and for my safety and for my peace of mind and everything, I decided to go with the Grayl. It's a $100 investment, but you're only going to invest in it once, and you have to swap out the filters. So if your health is important to you, then this might be a good choice, depending on where you live. There are 3 things I believe that people who are out in the outdoor community should really invest their money in, like pay once, hurt once. First of all, it's going to be your feet, like your boots and socks, okay? Because that's going to be the foundation of where it's going to take you where you want to go, right? So save up, and as soon as you possibly can, your boots and socks should probably be your first priority. Your feet will love you for it, okay? And you won't regret it. Buy good boots. The second thing would be like your health. Right, so here we're talking about like the water filter. Cancer is of course on the rise with a bunch of different stuff because here in the world, especially here in the United States, we tend to poison ourselves, unfortunately. So you don't want to do anything that can really expedite that poor, unfortunate situation. And I think this is a great way of doing it. And the third thing is probably your pack, because just like your feet, your pack is where you carry all your gear, and you can get away with just about any like dollar store items or search around your kitchen and your household and get outdoors and have a great time. You know, so depending on what your fears are, you know, you may need to get over that. But overall, camping is actually a very cheap and affordable hobby. We can buy more gear and have more fun toys to play around with, maybe even lighter gear. But overall, it's not that difficult for an entry hobby. All right. So where you spend your money should be on your boots, your health, and your pack. And that's my personal opinion. Let me know below in the chat box to tell me what your preferences are and what you think of that idea. I'd love to hear it. You know, your insight is always valuable. Now, in the description box below, I have my affiliate link to the Grayl website. I am an affiliate of Grayl, and I get a little bit of money if you buy something from it. It doesn't cost you anymore, it just helps out the channel and pushes us forward. But I still suggest that you shop around. Check out Amazon. Like I said, members of the Camp Crafters Guild found some really good deals after I bought mine on REI clearance. So that's a great option too. And depending on what season that you're buying on, they have different color variations and styles. I would suggest that you get the larger volume though, because this is the largest one and it really doesn't give you a ton of water. Okay, think of it like a 16-ounce glass. You can get through it pretty quick if you're really thirsty. But if you're in an area that you're supposed to have like some waterways or, you know, this is great. Maybe take 2 bottles, 1 bottle that you fill up with the filtered water, and you store your second bottle of water with this. That's a great alternative as well. But water is like some of the heaviest things that we're going to carry with us. We need to make sure that we're hydrated and safe. We need to clean our dishes. We need to clean our hands, make sure we don't get sick, and maybe even for first aid, clean our wound. So keep that in mind with whatever water source and water choice, container, or drinking that you choose to do. Also, check out my Camp Crafters Guild, because my guild mates are just some of the best people in the world, especially if you like talking camping and history, if you like talking bushcrafting and backpacking and hiking. It's just an incredible group. We have a couple people coming up who's going to be on our roundtable, including Mr. Jacker of Stormy Cromer. We have Grim Granite coming on. We have Waypoint Survival James Bender coming on. Check it out for 5 days. It's free for 5 days, right? Poke around, see if you like it. And if you like it, stay on, because there's just great opportunities. We have a growing library and things like that. But man, if you're a camp crafter, there's no better place to be. And you should check out my newsletter. I know it sounds like a lot, but I'm trying to give you guys as many resources as possible to help you out. If you check out my website, if you check out the newsletter is free. It comes out once a month. And what's coming up soon is my write-up and explanation about Grayl after my weekend experience, but also the history and write-up of the Just Right lantern I did a video on a while ago. It's a great little item and some interesting history. I think you guys will enjoy the newsletter and stuff that I found. All right, now if you would like to check out my video about the Something Hits the Fan, I've got a playlist right here, and it takes a historical approach of what the camp craft writers would say. And there's a few modern items here and there that I throw in there, just showing you me using it. But it's a pretty interesting series. Now, if you're interested in camp cooking, then check out the playlist here. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Give a kiss hug to your loved ones, and I hope to see you on our roundtable this week. Again, Camp Crafters Guild, check it out. It's Waypoint Survival. It's going to be a great one. You don't want to miss it. But if nothing else, I hope to see you guys next week. Take care.